Bees? It's the middle of January. What do you want from me? So, The Beekeeper is the latest from director David Ayer, and has Jason Statham as a beekeeper, a former secret assassin of sorts, who comes out of retirement to avenge a personal tragedy, and soon everyone is after him. Sound familiar? Well, in this movie, the main character is going after a group of scammers who run phishing scandals on the elderly. And there's also bees. But how does this movie hold up in IMAX? Well, let's get into it. First things first, the movie was shot on the Ayer Alexa 35, a camera that to my knowledge is not IMAX approved. Now this could be due to it being a relatively new camera coming out around 2022. It could also be the size of the camera's sensor. It could be a bunch of different things. But hey, it's approved for Netflix, which is not relevant right now. This movie also maintains a standard 2:3:9 aspect ratio throughout the entire movie, not once opening up to the full IMAX screen to a 190 or anything like that. Those two things might immediately set off some red flags for some of you out there, and I totally get that. But also, keep in mind, John Wick Chapter 4 did the exact same thing last year, and that movie still looked fantastic in IMAX. And when you have a movie like The Beekeeper, which is basically 100 minutes of Jason Statham delivering brutal and creative kills while finding some way to relate them to bees. Oh, gonna protect the hive. If I had to pick a favorite kill, it would have to be the one where Jason Statham ties a guy to the back of his pickup truck with a ratchet strap and then launches the truck off a bridge. That one, mixed with all the other ones, got applause from pretty much everybody in the theater every single time. Those, mixed with a few explosions, a couple of them are painfully digital, but regardless, and a couple cool stylized office spaces and flammable gas stations here and there, and you've got plenty of eye candy to warrant a larger screen like this. Of course, the other side of IMAX is its sound system, which definitely pulls its weight with every punch and bone break on screen, and there's a lot of them. But I think it really works the best when you've got Jeremy Irons and his soothing voice just delivering his dumb action movie dialogue. He, alongside everyone else in the movie, just seems like they're having a blast making this movie, including Josh Hutcherson, who plays this young, douchey, drug-addicted tech mogul. It's probably the role he was meant to play. And real quick, if you're enjoying this IMAX review, consider subscribing if you haven't already, because, well, I got more of them. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go poke that beehive and see what happens. So to give you my final thoughts on The Beekeeper in IMAX, the movie itself isn't breaking the mold as far as modern action movies are concerned. It clearly takes a lot of inspo from John Wick 1, but I dare you to find one action movie from the past decade that hasn't. The movie holds its own though, with some fun world building, some even more fun action sequences, and it was just simply fun. One might even argue it was awesome. January is a historically terrible month for movie releases. It's usually just when studios are like, alright, just get this crap out of here. But then every January you get at least that one hidden gem that's like, hey, not all January movies have to suck. And I think The Beekeeper might just be that. As for whether or not you should check it out in IMAX, the big square, I'd say yeah. And I say yeah over a resounding yes, because on a technical level, this movie doesn't really do anything that screams, go see it in IMAX or you're dumb, which some would describe as a waste of the format itself, but for me, I think it's a well-made action movie that having a larger screen to enjoy it on wouldn't be so bad. Also bees. But if you want to check out another IMAX review from me, I got just the thing right over here. Otherwise, we'll see you on the Brockopp side.